Hey everybody, I wanted to do a first-time homebuyer video. I had somebody on LinkedIn ask me to do this 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's very important. So I'm going to start off by first saying, instead of finding a lender first, find an experienced agent. And I mean someone that's been an agent prior to 2020. From 2020 to 2022, agents really didn't have to negotiate on anything. So if they got their license in that time, they may have learned since 2022 and September of that year, but you need someone that's been through several economic cycles, several housing cycles. A good lender is going to have a good realtor is going to know great lenders that not can only just quote you rate, but they'll get things closed. The home will appraise. That's very important. You use an internet lender. There's been buzz about a big internet lender that bought a internet real estate company. You want to be careful when you deal with internet lenders, especially in Texas. Texas is a different world when it comes to mortgage and real estate. Our rules and laws are different here than many other states. So you need an experienced lender that's based in the state of Texas. Hopefully local. It's better if they're local. That way, if you want, you can meet with them. And a good realtor is going to have multiple lenders because not all lenders can do the same type of mortgages. They may have access to programs, but they don't do them all. You may, as a first-time home buyer, you probably don't want to take on something like a 203K, which is a rehab loan for FHA. I'm going to talk about FHA here in a minute. But I would say you probably want to avoid getting an FHA mortgage if you can. A lot of people know them as first-time homebuyer loans. That's a misnomer. It's just a way for you to get in with lower down payment, 3.5%. The base rates typically are a little lower than conventional, but the PMI rates are higher, and the PMI, the private mortgage insurance, which insures the lender, not you, never goes away. That may change, but it's been that way, I think, since Obama left office. I can't remember exactly when it changed. So if you can qualify for a conventional, it's much better. Your PMI will be less, and it will go away. You can request it at 80% by federal law, at 78% of the original purchase price versus loan value. It goes away automatically by federal law. One thing I do as well, there's a lot of down payment assistance programs, some of the better known are TSHAC. There's some other local ones. You want to avoid down payment assistance if at all possible. The money is not free. The rates are higher. The private mortgage insurance is higher. That's something you need to be aware of. It's going to make your cost of housing much higher. So if you can, get a gift from a parent or a relative, a blood relative. And I have lenders that can help you with that. But if at all possible, avoid down payment assistance. Gifts are much better. There's no cost associated with them except obviously the person giving you the gift. And you want a lender or you want a realtor that knows several inspectors because inspectors get busy. And you want one that's not an alarmist. Yes, you want them to find what is deficient in the home because all homes have deficiencies, new construction included. I always tell everyone when you buy new construction, after you close and move in, 12 months later, you have a new home. And I've owned a new home. The one I'm in was new. And about 12 months after I moved in, it was a new home. It takes that long to get all the bugs fixed. New home does not mean it's without issues. I can tell you that for a fact. Matter of fact, I encourage my buyers to even have a sewer scope run on new construction because you'd be amazed. I had one that closed last year that had a rag down the master bedroom shower pan in the drain. That could have caused problems 13 months later, and then they're out of warranty. So it's one of those things you want an inspection on all new construction. So speaking of new construction, primarily you're going to run into this in new construction in Collin and Denton County. But now there's enough built in some existing neighborhoods, especially along the 380 corridors where you run into a lot of them. And also Princeton is another big one that's not too far from me. But you'll have a couple different types of taxes potentially out there in addition to your base real estate tax. There's what's called the Public Improvement District. That's usually for a fixed term up to 30 years, a certain amount per month. That can kill your ability to qualify, and it adds to the cost of the home. Why is that there? Because builders don't want to front the money for the infrastructure. The other tax that could potentially be there, you're not going to have both of these. The other is a MUD, Municipal Utility District. That can be up to 1% of the value of the home you purchased. So that is say it's a $500,000 house and the PID or the MUD rate is 1%, that's an extra $5,000 a year in taxes. So you need to know what you're getting involved in there. This is why you need an experienced agent that knows new construction, knows the neighborhoods. And there are some builders, I don't think that it's the case now, but back during 2020 to 2022, which by the way, I would avoid buying homes built between 2020 and 2022 because there were some substandard materials used during that time. I'm not painting a broad brush, but it's just something to be aware of. So make sure you have an experienced agent, always. And HOA, a lot of people will bash them. I live in an HOA. Yeah, have there been issues? Yes, but you talk with them, things get resolved. In general, it's going to increase the value of your home or keep it from being decreased by people not maintaining the property. That's the main reason for an HOA, is to preserve value. And some people say, well, Darrell, they go up every year. I've been in my home now, we'll just say 25 years. In that 25 years, my HOA dues have went from, I believe, $135 to about $195. I don't remember the exact dollar amount, but it's around there. Now, also, you want to make sure that you don't buy the largest house in the neighborhood or the smallest. It's better to buy somewhere in the middle, but if you need the largest home, you need the largest home. It's all up to you. And if you're going to be in the home for your whole life, like I'm in my final home, I consider it, I made sure I bought a one-story because at some point you're not going to want to go upstairs and maintain everything. Just something to think about. Now let's talk about location. Location is just not the city that you're going to be in. Though that's important. You want to be close to things you enjoy doing. You want to make sure that you're not on what's called a hard corner. And what that is you're in a neighborhood and you see this area right next to you and it's all open field. You want to find out if it's currently zoned for commercial because there's a 90% chance it is. If your home is right near that, the value of your home could potentially drop by 10% during hard times in the market. And they do come. The other thing about location is where you're at in the neighborhood. Are you on a busy corner? If there's a pump station that pumps the sewage, you don't want it to be near that. You may not want to be near a drainage ditch because of mosquitoes. If you back up to a green belt, that's great. If you want a corner lot, that could be a positive or negative, just depends. And schools, of course, are a big part of this. You want to be in a good school district. Whether or not you have children, it still affects the future value of your home. It's not a guarantee of profit, but you're more likely to have higher appreciation in a good school district. Now, one thing you need to be aware of, McKinney and Frisco are a couple examples where the cities try to keep the schools at a certain size. So you may be seeing constant reallocation of where each neighborhood's going to what school. So that's something you need to be aware of if you have young children in the home. And the city's rapidly growing. Frisco is, McKinney is, Prosper is. So things to keep in mind there. And you want to be aware of zoning all around you. Like I mentioned, commercial, if there's hard corners, that's something big you need to know. I think I pretty much hit all the high points. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. All my information's at the end of this video. If you want a referral to a great lender, happy to do so. Happy to work with you as an agent. If you want a referral to another agent, happy to help with that. I know some good ones in addition to myself. Have a great one. See you next time. And if you have a subject you want me to cover, feel free to reach out. All my information is at the end of this video. See you soon.